All right, today we're doing something a bit different. We're going to pull back the curtain on a sales pitch and see what makes it tick. We'll be looking at the video software CreateStudio, using their own marketing page to deconstruct how they sell this dream of making amazing videos, but simply. It's going to be fun. Let's get right into it.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, the problem, or what I like to call the creator's dilemma. Then, their big promise of simplicity. We'll look inside their toolkit, see how they earn your trust, decode that special offer, and finally, figure out exactly who they're trying to reach.
Okay, so every great pitch, every great story really, doesn't start with the solution. It starts with the problem. You've got to find that one thing that your audience is really struggling with, and then, twist the knife just a little bit.
And there it is. That's the hook. Right out of the gate, they hit you with a question that, if you're a creator, you just can't ignore. It's designed to get you nodding your head and saying, yes, that's me. It immediately pulls you into their world by talking about a struggle you both understand.
And then they start digging into why it's such a struggle. They're basically painting this picture of awesome, professional videos being locked away behind this big, scary wall of complex software, high costs, and a steep learning curve. And that's a feeling a lot of creators can relate to, right? So when they say you don't need tech or design skills, what they're really saying is, we're here to knock down that wall for you. This is the before state they want you to escape.
So, once they've got you feeling that pain, that frustration, it's time to bring in the hero to save the day. And in this story, the hero is the product. CreateStudio isn't just positioned as another tool. It's presented as the answer to your problems.
In this headline, this is the heart of their entire pitch. It's just brilliant because it smashes together two ideas that usually don't mix. You've got breathtaking animation. That's the high-end result we all dream of. And then you've got simple, the easy process we all desperately need. Putting those two together, that's just great copywriting, plain and simple.
So here's where they spell it out for you. They're promising versatility and convenience. You can make explainer videos, video ads, all your social content, all in one place. And that key phrase, one simple interface, is so important. They're basically selling you a single solution to replace that feeling of being totally overwhelmed by a dozen different apps.
All right, so making a big promise is one thing, but you've got to be able to back it up, right? Talk is cheap. So this next part of their pitch is all about proving they've actually got the goods. Let's dig into the specific features they highlight to make their case. This list right here, it's all about building credibility. They're flexing a bit, showing off features you'd find in professional software, things like a drag-and-drop timeline, 4K exports, even green screen removal. This is a very intentional message they're sending. They're saying, hey, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's a toy. This is a serious piece of kit. And this is just a perfect example of that simplicity promise in action. I mean, making doodle videos can be a real headache if you're starting from scratch. But here, they've boiled it down to just 2 steps. You type your text, you pick a hand, and that's it. It's the perfect way to show you can get a really cool, complex result from a process that's almost laughably simple.
Okay, this is actually pretty genius. What they're doing here is talking to 2 completely different groups of people at the same time. You've got the beginners who just want something fast and easy. Boom, one-click motion presets. Then you've got the more advanced users who want total control. No problem, here are custom animations. It's their way of saying it doesn't matter if you're a pro or a total newbie, we've got you covered.
Okay, so at this point you've heard the big promise, you've seen the cool features, but maybe you're still a little skeptical, right? I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true. So the next job of this sales page is to tackle that doubt head on and build some serious, rock-solid trust.
And how do they start? With the big, impressive number. This is Social Proof 101. When they tell you over 15,000 creators are already using it, they're tapping into that little voice in our heads that says, well, if that many people are on board, it can't be bad. It's a powerful way to make you feel safe about your decision.
But they don't stop there. They add another layer of proof, and this one is even more powerful. It's not just their numbers anymore. This is outside validation from a third party. Using a well-known site like Trustpilot is such a smart move. They're basically borrowing its reputation for being unbiased. It's like they're saying, look, don't just listen to us. Listen to all these real people who have no reason to lie.
And for the icing on the cake, they bring in an expert. And notice, it's not just some random user. It's a CEO from a company in a related field. That adds a whole other level of credibility. And of course, his quote perfectly echoes their main message. Premium videos without the complex editing. It's like getting a stamp of approval from an industry insider.
All right, the stage is set. They've identified your problem, they've shown you their amazing solution, and they've worked hard to build your trust. Now, it's time to close the deal. This is where all the psychology of pricing and persuasion really comes into play, to make this offer seem absolutely irresistible.
And bam, here it is. This might be their secret weapon. In a world where literally everything is a monthly subscription, those 4 words, one-time payment only, are so powerful. It completely changes how you think about the cost. Suddenly, it's not another bill you have to worry about every month. It's an asset, something you own forever. It's the perfect cure for that subscription fatigue we all feel, isn't it?
So let's just quickly break down the psychology happening right around the buy button. It's a classic combo. First, they create a sense of urgency or scarcity with that limited time offer tag. Then they frame the value, showing you what it could cost per year versus what you're paying today. And finally, they remove all the risk with that money-back guarantee. It's a 1-2-3 punch designed to get you to stop thinking and just click.
And then they hit you with this. It's a technique called value stacking. They don't just say you get the software. They list out every single thing they're piling into your cart. Lifetime access, a commercial license, animated characters, backgrounds, the text-to-speech creator. The list just keeps growing. And with every item they add, that $67 price tag starts to look smaller and smaller. It's a brilliant way to make the deal feel massive.
So now that we've taken this entire pitch apart piece by piece, let's put it all back together and ask, who is this actually for? Because every word, every feature, every offer is aimed at a very specific person. And when you lay it all out, the picture becomes incredibly clear. They're talking to the modern do-it-yourself creator, the entrepreneur trying to make a sales video, the marketer who needs to create social ads that actually stop the scroll, the small business owner who's their own branding department. It's for anyone who knows they need professional-looking results, but just doesn't have the time, the money, or the patience for the old, complex ways of doing things.
And all this kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? In this age where everyone is a creator, where we're all making our own media, what's the most valuable feature a tool can have? Is it a million different buttons and options, or is it just simplicity? Looking at a pitch like this, it seems like CreateStudio is betting big that for a whole lot of us, simplicity isn't just a feature, it's everything.